In 20 years of working with cars, I've noticed something. Almost every driver stuck on the side of the road says the same thing. It was acting strange, but I thought it would be okay. The truth is, cars usually don't break down without warning. They give signs first. Some of these signs can ruin your engine in just minutes. Others may seem small at first but can cost thousands of dollars later. And the last warning sign? Almost everyone has seen it before. If your car shows even one of these signs, you might be closer to calling a tow truck than you realize. Symptom number 1, check engine light. That little orange light is your car quietly asking for help. Most drivers notice it while driving normally but assume it's not urgent because the car still runs fine. They keep driving for weeks or even months. I once had a customer who ignored the light for 6 months because the car felt okay. One morning, the engine suddenly lost power on the highway, and he ended up needing a tow instead of getting to work. In many cases, the problem starts small. A loose gas cap, a failing oxygen sensor, or a minor misfire. Repair stats show that nearly 60% of check engine light issues cost under $300 if fixed early. But when ignored, problems like misfires can overheat the catalytic converter, and replacing that alone can cost $2,000 or more. The good news? The fix is often simple. Most auto parts stores will scan the code for free, letting you address the issue before it becomes serious. Acting early protects your fuel economy, engine performance, and wallet and keeps you from getting stranded on the roadside. Your car always gives small chances to fix problems cheaply, but most drivers miss them. The difference between a simple repair and a huge bill is usually just timing. So here's the takeaway: don't wait for a breakdown to force the decision. Tell me in the comments which warning sign you'd fix first, and subscribe, because the next video might save you from your next big repair. Symptom number 2, vibrations or shaking while driving. If your steering wheel starts shaking, your car is warning that something under the hood is wearing out or coming loose. This usually happens while driving at speeds between 50 and 70 miles per hour. You may feel vibrations through the steering wheel, seat, or even the whole car. Many drivers assume it's just the road or old tires. I once had a driver who ignored the shaking for months, thinking it wasn't serious, until a suspension joint almost failed during a highway trip, forcing an emergency repair. Shaking often comes from unbalanced tires, bent rims, worn suspension parts, or failing CV joints. When tires or suspension components aren't working properly, extra stress spreads to the steering and wheels. Tire studies show that poorly balanced tires can shorten tire life by up to 20% and increase suspension wear. If ignored, vibration can damage suspension and steering parts, leading to repairs easily over $1,000. Compared to a simple tire balance or alignment, which costs $60 to $120, addressing it early is much cheaper. The solution is simple: rotate and balance tires regularly, inspect suspension parts during service visits, and fix issues early before damage spreads. Because when vibration problems are ignored, drivers soon start hearing an even louder warning every time they press the brakes. Symptom number 3, rough idling or stalling. If your car shakes or struggles while standing still, it's a warning that something isn't right. This usually happens when you're stopped at traffic lights or parked with the engine running. The car may vibrate, the RPM may jump up and down, or the engine may suddenly shut off without warning. Many drivers think it's just bad fuel or cold weather. I remember a driver whose car stalled once at a red light, then again a few days later in traffic, and finally died in the middle of an intersection during rush hour. Rough idling happens when the engine isn't getting the right air-to-fuel mixture. Common causes include dirty throttle bodies, worn spark plugs, weak ignition coils, vacuum leaks, or fuel delivery problems. According to roadside assistance data, engine misfires and stalling are among the top reasons drivers get stranded. Ignoring the problem lets unburned fuel damage the catalytic converter and increases engine wear, turning what could have been a $300 repair into a $2,000 or more repair later. The solution is simple: have the engine scanned early, clean the throttle body, and replace worn ignition parts before the problem gets worse. Because when this warning is ignored, the next sign usually shows up as your car shaking or stalling at a traffic light. Symptom number 4, loss of power or sluggish acceleration. When your car suddenly feels heavy and slow to respond, it's a sign that something important is starting to fail. This usually happens when you press the gas pedal and the car hesitates, struggles up hills, or takes much longer to reach highway speed. Many drivers think the car is just getting old or blame poor fuel quality. I remember a driver who kept saying his car just didn't feel strong anymore. Until one evening it lost power while merging into traffic and nearly caused an accident. Loss of power happens when the engine isn't getting enough fuel, air, or proper ignition. Common causes include clogged fuel filters, a weak fuel pump, dirty air filters, worn spark plugs, or failing sensors. When airflow or fuel flow is restricted, the engine works harder, burns more fuel, and performance drops. Research shows that neglected fuel system issues can reduce fuel economy by 10 to 15%, costing drivers hundreds of dollars a year. If ignored, parts like the fuel pump can overheat and fail, leading to repairs costing $900 to $1,500, plus towing and stress from an unexpected breakdown. The solution is simple: replace filters on schedule, service the fuel system, and check sensors early to keep your car running properly. Because if power loss continues, the next warning drivers usually notice is shaking or vibration while driving. Symptom number 5: engine knocking or ticking. If your engine starts knocking or ticking, it means metal parts inside are wearing down, and the damage will only get worse over time. This usually begins as a faint ticking or knocking sound, especially during acceleration or when the engine is cold. Many drivers think the noise is normal and keep driving. I've seen drivers ignore the sound for weeks, until one day the engine suddenly lost power and completely locked up, leaving them stranded on the roadside. Knocking or ticking happens when engine parts aren't properly lubricated or are already worn. Common causes include low oil, a failing oil pump, worn engine bearings, or poor maintenance. Without enough oil pressure, metal parts rub against each other, causing damage that spreads quickly. Mechanics often say that once knocking starts, the engine is already under serious stress. Ignoring it can lead to total engine seizure. Rebuilding or replacing the engine can cost $5,000 or more, far more than fixing oil system problems early. The solution is simple: check your oil levels regularly, change the oil on schedule, and investigate unusual engine sounds immediately before damage spreads. When engine damage reaches the final stage, the next thing drivers usually notice is the car losing power while driving. Symptom number 6: fluid leaks under the car. Those spots on your driveway? That's your car quietly asking for help. This usually shows up as small puddles or stains where your car has been parked overnight or at work. Many drivers ignore them because the car still drives normally. I once had a customer who noticed small red spots in his garage for months but assumed it wasn't serious. One day, his car suddenly stopped moving. The transmission fluid had dropped too low, leading to a very expensive repair. Fluid leaks often come from old hoses, worn seals, loose drain plugs, or damaged gaskets. The color of the fluid can tell you what's leaking. Green or orange usually means coolant, black or brown points to engine oil, and red often indicates transmission fluid. These fluids are essential for cooling, lubrication, and smooth operation. When levels drop slowly, drivers may not notice until serious damage has already started. Ignoring leaks can lead to engine overheating or transmission failure. A small seal repair might cost $200 to $400, but a transmission rebuild can reach $3,500 to $5,000, not including towing or lost time. The solution is simple: regularly check under your car, monitor fluid levels every month, and fix leaks early before they drain critical systems. Because when vital fluids run low and damage starts spreading, the next warning drivers often notice is a troubling knocking or ticking sound coming from the engine. Symptom number 7: strange burning or sweet smells. If your car suddenly smells unusual, something under the hood is already overheating or leaking. This usually happens while driving or just after parking. You might notice a sweet smell through the vents, a burning oil odor after a trip, or even a plastic-like smell inside the cabin. Many drivers assume the smell is coming from outside or another vehicle. I remember a driver who kept driving despite a burning smell, only to see smoke appear under the dashboard minutes later because of an electrical problem. Different smells mean different problems. A sweet smell usually means coolant is leaking onto hot engine parts. Burning oil often comes from leaking valve cover gaskets dripping onto the exhaust. A burning plastic smell can mean overheated electrical wiring, and a burnt rubber smell may point to slipping belts. These problems often start small but can get worse quickly. Ignoring leaks or overheating parts can cause engine damage or even a fire. A simple hose or gasket repair might cost under $300, but engine or electrical repairs can easily go over $3,000. The solution is simple: check for new smells immediately, inspect fluid levels regularly, and fix leaks early before the damage spreads. Because when leaks continue, you may soon notice puddles forming under your parked car. If you're finding this helpful, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the signs that could save your engine from expensive repairs. And stay with me, the next symptom isn't noisy at all. It's something you'll smell before you even see it. Symptom number 8, squealing or grinding brakes. If your brakes make a loud noise every time you slow down, your car is warning you that your stopping power is getting weaker. This problem usually starts as a high-pitched squeal when you press the brake pedal, especially at low speeds. Many drivers just turn up the radio and ignore it because the car still stops. I've seen drivers say, "It's been making that noise for months." But when we check the car, the brake pads are completely worn out, and metal is grinding against the rotors. At that point, the car takes longer to stop, and braking may feel rough or shaky. The noise happens because brake pads wear down over time. Most brake pads last between 30,000 and 50,000 miles, depending on how you drive. Once the pad material is gone, metal parts start rubbing together. This damages the rotors and sometimes even the calipers. The damage can get worse quickly, especially in stop-and-go traffic. Replacing brake pads early usually costs around $200 to $300, but if you wait too long, repairs can cost more than $1,000. More importantly, worn brakes increase the risk of an accident because your car won't stop as quickly. The solution is simple: have your brakes checked during regular tire service and replace the pads before grinding starts. And when brake warnings are ignored, the next sign drivers often notice isn't a noise, it's a strange smell coming from under the hood. Symptom number 9, engine overheating. An overheating engine can destroy itself in just minutes if you keep driving. This problem usually starts when the temperature gauge goes higher than normal. It often happens in heavy traffic, during long uphill drives, or on very hot days. Some drivers may also see steam coming from under the hood or a warning light on the dashboard. Many people keep driving, hoping the temperature will go back down once traffic moves. I once saw a driver continue for several miles with the warning light on. The engine eventually shut down and needed a major rebuild. Overheating happens when the cooling system can't control the engine's temperature. This can be caused by low coolant, a leak, a bad water pump, a stuck thermostat, or a clogged radiator. When coolant is low or not flowing properly, heat builds up quickly. This can cause engine parts to warp or crack. Fixing a small coolant leak or replacing a thermostat early may cost around $300 to $600, but if you ignore the problem, it can lead to serious engine damage, which may cost $4,000 or more to repair or replace. The solution is simple. If the temperature rises, stop driving right away. Let the engine cool down and fix the cooling system problem as soon as possible, because if heat keeps building up, the next warning sign may not come from under the hood. It might be the sharp squealing or grinding sound you hear when you press the brakes. Symptom number 10, thick or colored exhaust smoke. If thick smoke starts coming from your exhaust, your engine could already be in serious trouble. This usually happens while driving or when starting the car. You may notice unusual smoke coming from the tailpipe. White smoke may last longer than normal when you start the car. Blue smoke may appear when you accelerate. Black smoke may show up when you press the gas pedal. Many drivers think it's just condensation or cold weather at first, but I've seen people keep driving for days with heavy smoke, only for the engine to fail completely later. The color of the smoke tells you what the problem might be. White smoke often means coolant is leaking into the engine, usually because of a bad head gasket. Blue smoke means the engine is burning oil, often due to worn seals or piston rings. Black smoke usually means the engine is burning too much fuel because of injector or sensor problems. Once this starts, engine damage can get worse very quickly. Ignoring smoke can lead to total engine failure, with repair costs ranging from $3,500 to $6,000 or more. If caught early, some of these problems might cost less than $500 to fix. The best thing to do is stop driving long distances, get the car checked right away, and fix the problem before the damage spreads. When smoke appears, your car isn't quietly warning you anymore, it's clearly asking for help before it leaves you stranded. Symptom number 11, hard starting or a clicking sound. If your car struggles to start, it's a warning that soon it may not start at all. This usually begins with the engine turning over more slowly than normal, especially in the morning or in cold weather. Sometimes, when you turn the key or press the start button, you may only hear a fast clicking sound. Many drivers ignore this because the car eventually starts. But I've seen many cases where people dealt with slow starts for weeks, and then one day the car wouldn't start at all, often in a grocery store parking lot or right before work. Most starting problems are caused by a weak battery, a failing starter motor, or an alternator that isn't charging properly. According to the American Automobile Association, AAA, battery-related problems make up nearly 1/3 of roadside assistance calls, especially during very hot or very cold weather. If you ignore the problem, it can put stress on other parts. What could have been a simple battery replacement can turn into a full breakdown, needing a tow truck and repairs to the alternator or starter. That can cost $800 to $1,000 or even more. The fix is simple. Test your battery once a year. Replace weak batteries before extreme summer or winter weather. Also, check the charging system during regular service visits. Taking care of the problem early can prevent sudden breakdowns and save you money and stress. But sometimes, even when your car starts, the next warning sign drivers notice is thick smoke coming from the exhaust.